wife is walking up to the car, animals, and then they get angry when I say, they're animals. Nancy Pelosi, they're not animals, they're human beings. No, they're not. This is another thing. That's a 98-2 issue also. No, they're animals, and we've taken them out. We've took out over 2,000 people, brought them back to their countries from where they came, or they're in prison now in Washington. Because it's not just like, you have to take the bad ones out. 2%, 3% of the population causes 90% of the crime. Think of it. 2% of the population in Washington, D.C. causes 90% of the crime. So when you get rid of the 2%, we took out over 2,000 people, got them out of the country or in prison. Some were so bad that we didn't want to send them back to their countries because they'll come back in, even though it's hard now, but you know, they're pretty smart. They're sick, but they're smart. But you're now living in one of the safest cities in the country. It's a great thing. You can walk to the restaurants. Restaurants are booming. New restaurants are open. They were all closing. You wouldn't have had a restaurant. And I don't know about you, but to me, those soldiers standing there look so good. I'm not going to feel safe walking down the street without them. I don't think you would either. Even though, you know, we took out so many criminals, I just feel better. To me, they're beautiful. I look at these soldiers, and you feel safe. You feel safe. I don't think if we took them out, even if the crime wasn't much, it would definitely be more. We did a great job in Chicago. They don't want to talk about it. We, you know, against all this slob of a governor, this stupid slob, who's the family threw him out of the business. He was a dope, and the Pritzker family, but they threw him out of the business. And the mayor, he's a low IQ person, extremely low IQ. We should give everybody like these competency tests, right? The cognitive, they call it cognitive. You know, I'm the only president that went for cognitive. I think every president and vice president should be forced to take cognitive exams, mental tests, like, are they intelligent? Wouldn't it be nice? Do you think Walz could pass a cognitive test, as an example? Do you think Kamala could? I don't think Gavin could. He's got a good line of crap, but other than that, he couldn't pass. I mean, here's a guy who didn't want to have water coming down from the Pacific Northwest. Why? You know, they have a little tiny fish, this big, it's a little tiny fish. Not doing well. You know why? No water. They're sending water. It's too much. It's killing the fish, so they cut it off. And then they have 25,000 houses burned down. They don't know why. No,
자, 리방입니다.
I'm the only one that took a cognitive
방송 송출 프로그램이고 업데이트 확인을 체크했는데 체크가 잘 안 돼요. 방송 마치고 난 다음에 좀 점검을 다시 한번 해볼게요. 중간중간에 요 끊기는 거 좀 없었으면 좋겠어요. 오프 뜨는 거. 호님 리하 주연님 리하 1바 2파 주연님이 어제 하도 까불길래 초시계 들고 재고 있었어. 미 연방대법원 이번 주 금요일 그 관세 관련 판결 이번 주 금요일 나온다.
Just one day. This is 32 days in a row. Must be some kind of a crazy record.
아무리 생각해도 780 바로 직전 779에서 들리는 거 너무 아깝네.
And loves playing. Grandpa, would you take me to play golf? So when I play golf in like record, I play speed golf. You know the expression? Miss it quick. No, I play speed golf, but I'm a good golfer. Everyone is. Anybody that I've beaten in this group. But I love to play golf, but I don't get to play much. But I took off 2 hours, and the press couldn't find me. But they knew I was there because they follow me. And I was getting, are you okay? Guys are calling me up. Some of the guys in this room. Sir, are you okay? Yeah, what's the problem? There's a report, sir, that you're no longer with us. Remember that? No. The report was that I was I don't want to use the D word. It's such a horrible word.
지금 현재 도란프 뭐 시장 관련 얘기는 없고 그쵸.
There's a report saying that you're no longer with us.
소아나 하원 의원들
This is in bed. And it's one of the, and it took me a couple of weeks to get that one straight.
중간 선거 전에 꽁꽁 저 뭡니까?
Where I work this day from early in the morning till late in the evening, but we don't give out a full schedule. It's like we don't want to give out a schedule to these people, but it's all work. And this, in particular, this day was brutal.
시장 관련 얘기 있었어요? 없었죠.
I couldn't read. It was just one after another after another.
중간 선거 앞두고 워낙 그 하원 의원들 단돌이 하는 것 같아요. 자, 본장 다우 0.25, S&P 0.21%, 나스닥 0.21% 그냥 3대 지수 소폭 상승, 러셀 2000 지수마저 0.1. 야, AMD가 왜 이렇게 많이 빠져? 마이너스 4%. 리사 수가 내일 오전 11시 반 우리 시간으로 CS 연설이 있는데 필라델피아 반도체 1.79% 플러스 브로드컴 약과 마이너스 0.14 AMD 마이너스 4% 이런 것들이 안 좋네. 마이크론 5.76% 뭐 이런 것들이 반도체 섹터 1.78% 만드는데 혼전해요, 혼전.
We should win the elections on just that thing if we did nothing else and went home, go home. We did favored nations where we're bringing down the price of a bill. As an example, in London the bill sells for $10. In New York it sells for $130. That's
자리가 시장 관련 얘기할 자리가 아닌가 봐. 할 수도 있는데. 베네수엘라, 심지어 베네수엘라 그 뭡니까 마두로 관련 얘기 그것도 안 했어. 못 들었어. 뭐. 철저하게 무시하네.
So the other nations used to tell the drug companies, we're not going to pay more. You kept it for years the same price. We just kept going up. And finally, I had the drug companies that said, "This house, you can't do this. Can't do it anymore. We're not going to let it. We're going to do it." And
173이 아니다.
And I did things to them that were brutal.
더 밑에서 방금.
So when France was told that the bill will go from $10 to $30, it's a big increase, right? But it's not really. And that ours would come down from $12 or $13 down to $30. So theirs would go from 10 to 20 or 30. And ours would go from $13 down to, meaning $130 down to 20 or 30. So it's a huge drop for us. Now, depending on the way you calculate it, it could be thousands of percent down. It could also be 90% and 80%. You know, there's two ways of calculating. I don't know if you know this. Donald Trump exaggerated. Now, there are two ways of calculating it. But calculate it at 80, 90%. But the other way is more accurate, like 900%, because that's what it really is. But there are two ways, but use it to be generous, 90%. There hasn't been a reduction in 28 years, except for the 1 year where I got it down 1/4% and I had a news conference. I was so proud of myself. The drug prices, prescription drugs, are going to be down by thousands of points. Thousands. On that one item, you should win this election. The New York Times barely wrote about it. The other papers barely wrote about it. Nobody even knows that the drug prices. Now, people will say, you don't mind if I don't read this crazy teleprompter, do you? Because, you mind? Because I have it's called standard. But these things are so important because you guys got to get elected. Because if you don't get elected, we have a country that's going to go to hell. So we can't play games. Ladies and gentlemen, the sun will rise tomorrow, and when it rises, we will all We don't need this bullshit. We need to talk about favored nations. And your numbers are coming down at levels that nobody's ever seen. We inherited high prices. We inherited a mess. We inherited the greatest inflation in history. And you know what was knocking it down? The bad economy that we inherited. We inherited bad. We now have the hottest economy in the history of our country. We have $18 trillion being invested in the United States. You have, every one of you have car plants, AI plants, plants of all different types. So because of tariffs, I hope we get the good ruling from the Supreme Court. I only hope we do, because it's given us tremendous national security. So let me just finish up, because you know I weave. If you ever weave and don't come back to the point, then that's a problem. Then you say, but when you weave and you go here and boom, boom,
702에 쓰는 것도
then you're in good shape. But what's happening is, by doing what I did, we're getting numbers that are so low.
어디서 봤는데도 이상한 자리가 아니라서
To the countries, they said,
이제 뭐 거꾸로 이제 눌림 반등 매수 자리
is going to go up triple.
기다립니다.
It's going from $10 a pill, just as an example. I called it the fat drug. You could say the fat drug, Ozempic. Ozempic is $80 in London, and it's $1,300 in New York. The fat drug. A friend of mine called me up. He said, "What the hell is going on?" A very rich guy, but I said, "The fat drug doesn't work on you. Why are you even taking it?" The drug has failed miserably, but he's a very loud, boisterous. He's not a bad guy, not a great guy. Smart as hell. But he's a very rich guy. This drug, he could have paid millions for it. It wouldn't have mattered. But he said, in London, I'm paying $80. In New York, I'm paying like many times more than that. What the hell is that? That's because of what's happened. Because the nation's held us back. So the drug companies, I made a deal with them. You're going to do it? They said, whatever the nations agreed to. The nations were a bigger problem than the drug companies. So I said, you tell me they'll never agree, sir. I said, 100% they will. 100%. They said, sir, the smartest guy, Eli Lilly, Merck, Pfizer, all genius. They're all making numbers you wouldn't believe. The defense contractors are making more. That's why I'm going to say, you know, you're making $45 million a year and you can't produce a freaking helicopter for 7 years. We're going to talk to them about it. But I said to the French, I called up, as an example, French, just as an example, I like him as a nice guy. Emmanuel, you know Emmanuel Macron? Macron. I love the French accent. Emmanuel. They said, listen, you're going to have to raise your prices a little bit because we're paying 14 times more than you. That's a lot, right? We're paying numbers. In other words, we're making up for all of this deficit. No, I will not be able to. Mr. President, please excuse me. Most people call me Mr. President, except for people that don't respect me, they call me that. We should probably allow that too. But they said, no. Putin calls me Mr. President. She calls me Mr. President. Emmanuel goes, no. We will not do that. Yes, you will, Emmanuel, 100%. Because I was told they wouldn't do it. And this is, you can take Emmanuel and add up Hans, you can add up Ludwig, you can add every name in the book. It's all the same. The answer is no. We're not going to double our drug prices. Not for you or anybody else. I said, yes, you are, 100%. We are not going to do it. No, you don't listen. 100%. You're going to do it, you don't like it. They go, I don't understand. I've told you 5 times, why do you keep saying you're going to do it? Because I'm always right about, Trump is right about everything, right? They said, that. Trump is right about it. I have been right about everything. Got to keep it going. Is there wood up here? Hold it. I would like to, just in case. Trump was right about everything. They said, so you're going to do it, Emmanuel? No, I said, okay, here's the story, Emmanuel. if on Monday you haven't agreed to every single thing that we want, and putting a 25% tariff on everything coming out of France, including your wines, your champagnes, and everything else. No, you cannot do that. I said, I can do that, and I will do that. Even for national security, I'll do that, but this is for medical security. And 100%. Now let me explain. The tariff I'm imposing on you is 42 times more expensive than what I'm asking for you in return. So you can either have a 25% tariff added onto you, like I did with China on fentanyl. I put a 20% penalty tax on China, and it's drying up because the tax is far more than they make with fentanyl. But with the other nations, I said, you're going to do it. And you know what you said? You can do that to me. I said, yes, I can. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be that bad. You just have to explain it to your people, your 39 million people.
야, 이게
But
진짜
by the way,
아깝다.
don't vote by mail. They vote on paper.
추파춥스님 어서 오세요. MBCND 다시 음봉으로 꺾였는데 조정으로 봐야 하락장 추입으로 봐야.
We're the only country that's stupid enough to vote by mail. Even Jimmy Carter's commission said don't do it. But just to finish so that you don't say Emmanuel said to me,
잘 모르겠습니다.
Donald,
근데 일봉 차트로 보면 이 금요일 날 주말
prescription drug prices by
저 장대음봉 도지요.
I would love to do research on
아랫꼬리 밑에서 요 잡아먹고 121선 위에서 이렇게 반등했으면은 안정적으로 반등을 하는구나. 이제 슬슬 반등할 때가 됐구나. 랩도 그냥 공중부양하니까 굉장히 불안한 이거 반등 같아 보여요. 5거래일 슉 6거래일째 반등하긴 했는데 공중부양.
So we would be honored to quadruple our prices if that's what you like. We want to make you happy. Okay. Therefore, I will not charge you a tariff.
하락장이라고까지는 봐야 될까요? 그냥 조정이 아직 좀 더 남아있지 않나. 그게 언제가 될지 모르겠어. 이 지금 4시간봉 요 장대 음봉 이 고점이 680이었어요. 780이었어요. 780 돌파 못하고요. 구름대 상단 779에서 지금 빠빠하는 거야. 그렇죠. 4시간 봉. 이게 780. 음봉 고점. 지금 빠빠하는 게 779. 추파춥스님 관점은 어떠세요? 좀 뭐 서로 좀 관점 같은 거 보는 뷰 공유를 했으면 좋겠는데. 제 의견은 그래요. 어제 반등 성공을 했는데 좀 굉장히 불안한 반등이지 않을까. 121선 언저리에서 반등하면 조정 끝나고 이제 다시 가는구나 했는데 조금 남아있지 않나.
Not of tremendous interest, but it was very important. And I made it of tremendous interest. So I made a statement a couple of months ago because I saw the numbers. I said, boy, because I like to see what's going on. That's one of the reasons. By the way, we set an all-time record again today. We have the highest stock market in the history of our country by far, every single month. That's another thing you should care. They like to demean that. The Democrats.
한번 직접 편들.
That means jobs and 401ks, because a lot of people have 401ks, and they have best lawyer in the room. The best have 401ks, and they have 401ks. Like I had a young policeman. I told this story twice. It was the same thing. This was a recent case. I had a case years ago because I had a great economy. We had the greatest economy in history during my first term. My first term was a tremendous success. But again, nobody wants to talk about that. We rebuilt our military. We did things that nobody could have done. We did a great job. This term is blowing it away. It's blowing every term. There's never been a president that had a year like this, especially a starting year. And we should win based on that too, all things. But the 401k, so there's a policeman, and he comes up, and he was guarding me along with lots of other people. Sir, I want to thank you. What? My wife thinks I am the worst investor in the world. And for the last year, she thinks now I'm Warren Buffett. She said, you're smarter than Warren Buffett. You're a better investor than Mr. Warren Buffett, sir. I said, how's your 401k? It's doubled. It's going up. It's going up. What? It's just going up. But 401ks are through the roof. Those are us. Those are the people. We have the highest stock market in history. 47 days out of 11 months. We have just a piece of the last month left for the first year. 47 days out of 11 months, we hit a new record. Well, we hit one last night. We hit another one today, I understand. But we hit one last night, a new record, brand new record. All exchanges, not just, Dow was up, but all of them. We have another record, that's the 47th time in 11 months that we've hit an all-time high. And the future, because we have more money coming into our country than any country has ever had by far. The record was about $3 trillion many years ago by China. We've got $18 trillion pouring into our country. You know why? Because of tariffs. Because if they build a factory, they don't have to pay any tariff. But if they make it in another country and they send it in, they have a very big tariff to pay. So they can't pay that tariff, so what they do is they come in and they're building. By the way, this is what China did to us for many years. It's just reversing it. Other than we have
1시 11분. 다음 번 그냥
we were losing.
빨라.
If I had lost this election, if you had Kamala, it's the same thing, Joe and Kamala, I call them equals.
전혀 시장이랑 관계없는 얘기들, 그쵸?
Would have been Venezuela.
워낙 하원 의원들 앞에서
I used to say
중간선거 앞두고 그냥 단둘이 하는 것 같아요.
during the campaign, if I don't win, we're going to have Venezuela.
옛날 얘기를 하면서.
So we have 18 trillion coming in.
자, 저 잠시 하고 돌아올게요. 잠시요.
Less than 1 year, 18 trillion. The record is $3 trillion. $3 trillion is a lot of money. 18 trillion is not even thinkable. That's all investment. That's building factories. That's building plants. You know how many car factories we have? Half of you guys are having car factories. Where you are, Louisiana is doing great. Georgia, right next to you, is doing great. Hello. Nice guy. All nice people. Actually, in this room, I can't see it. Is there anybody I'm supposed to dislike in this room? I think that a couple of people maybe didn't show up. There's only one that I really dislike. The same person that Mike gave up on, because there's something wrong with him. He's a sick person. But there's only one really. The others, you just have to understand them. They have some problems too, but you just have to sort of go with them and understand them, feel sorry for them. Advise their family, are they okay? Because what we're doing is right. But $18 trillion, car plants being built. I was in Japan. Somebody admonished me. He shouldn't be traveling. I don't like to travel. But when I travel, I make a lot of money for the country, not for me. For me, I don't care. I have a much higher purpose. I have plenty of money. I don't need money. I don't want money. I want to make money for the country. And like I did with Intel. Intel came in, they had a problem. I said, I can solve the problem, but I think you should give the United States 10% of your company. He goes, whoa. I said, yeah, I think I can help you with the problem, but you got to give the United States, not me. Sometimes I'll say, give me, but when I say me, I'm talking about, I'd love to accept it, but I don't think that law enforcement would like that, right? I'm very cognizant of law enforcement, perhaps more than anybody in history. Actually, a friend of mine who's really smart said, you've got to be the most honest guy in history, because you have been examined, your books, your records. I have a big business. Every record, I had these Democrats hired the biggest accounting firms, the biggest law firms, the biggest. I went through years of abuse. And here I am. They didn't find anything wrong. Remember? We want his tax returns for years. We want his. Finally, the Supreme Court, shockingly, I'm the only one. This couldn't happen to anybody else. You have to give your tax returns, right? I gave my tax returns. They're from here to here. It's a big business. It's a great business. And I built a great business, like much bigger and better than anyone even understands. But I gave my tax returns. They go from here to the ceiling practically. They got them. Headline, Trump to give tax returns. Supreme Court ruled I had to give my tax return. Can you believe it? Everyone said, you're not supposed to do that. And by fighting, they think you're trying to hide something. Naturally. I gave my tax returns. That's the last we ever heard. They hired the biggest accounting firm in the world, most powerful lawyers in the world. They spent millions and millions of dollars going over those returns. There hasn't been one story that I did anything wrong. So this friend of mine who's highly sophisticated, rich guy, smart guy, said there's nobody that I know that could have gone through an examination like that and not ended up in prison. Nobody ever had to suffer like I did. Nobody ever did that to anybody else. There was an expression, Andrew Jackson was the most abused president in the history of the United States. You know who second was? This before me. You know who second was? Abraham Lincoln. But he had a civil war, so we have to give him a pass. But Andrew Jackson was treated horribly. He was a great general and a good president. So bad that his wife died. I mean, his wife died. They were horrible. But I just saw a report came out the other day. I blow them away. He never got impeached twice. I got impeached twice or nothing. On a perfect phone call, remember? Perfect phone call. Tim Scott, who's a great guy, great, wonderful guy, South Carolina, straight guy, right? He is a good guy, good person. He's an honest person. He read a transcript. Thank goodness I had a transcript. Essentially, the call was taped because they tape calls. I didn't even know. So was that call taped? Yes, sir. I said, oh, well, bring it down. I don't even know. And we read the transcript. It was perfect. It was so good.
들어왔습니다.
I told you
축하축선님.
to cheat.
삼립 우선 실발 후에 살짝 추었다가 다시 반등 할 것 같고 한동안 해외 기술 주쪽은 결국 반등할 것 같지만 그 사이 등락이 변동성 와리가리 심해질 것 같아서 내일 일단 MB 반 정도 빼고 쭉 봐왔던 빅텍이나 우주항공 쪽 ETF요. 관세 협정 시기가 좀 이런 듯 싶어. 이거저도 주파춥선이 뭐 감사합니다. 고기 자주 부탁드려요.
Do you know the more impressive record for Jim? Because I'm a big sports person. I love sports. Jim went to high school. As in high school, he was considered like the top wrestler. But he was undefeated in high school. Now, what that means is that as a freshman, he was beating seniors. Is that true? Were you actually undefeated? Seriously, were you undefeated in high school?
메시지 고정 메시지 지금 고정 메시지 내용을 조금 수정하라고 연락이 왔습니다.
To me, that's more impressive than anything. But I'm also impressed with his fight. Now we have to close the deal, Jim. We got to close the deal. Close that deal. But the right. So
수정해서 다시 고정 링크 올릴게요.
First time I met Jim, I looked at him and he said, tough-looking guy. But I noticed the ears are a little rough. They're a little bit rough. Some people would say a little cauliflower on that ear. They said, Jim, have you wrestled before? Yes, I did. where was it, Ohio State? Something like he was an All-American at Ohio State. I said, yeah, I could sort of tell. I look at the years and I can sort of tell.
지금 CES 기간이라 그 또 애매하죠. 또.
Better now than they did the first time. They've healed those years. They've healed. Actually, now you're wrestling with probably
그냥 관련 IT 기업들 CES 지금 참여 중인데.
But anyway, so I just want to leave it by this. I want to say
새로운 혁신적인 기술들. 현대자동차 그 로봇 그 공개한 거 보니까 어우 쌈박하더라고. 뭐 그런 것들. 내일 오전에는 또 AMD 리사수가 또 오전에 연설이 있죠. 뭔가 또 하나 발표할 것 같고. 중요한 거는 이번 주 비농 어떻게 나오느냐. 그리고 다음 주부터는 또 어닝 시즌이에요. 4분기 어닝 시즌 실적 기대감 때문에 또 장이 좋아질 수도 있고.
At a lower price. I mean, that's a good thing, right? And the one thing I learned, just in concluding, and I said it like a month and a half ago, and it was the number one thing in the country. Even the fake news covered it. They tried to put a negative spin on it, of course. I said, I read a story about insurance companies making a fortune. A fortune. Their stocks were up 1,700%.
지금 블라블라 떠드는 도란프도 중간선거 의식해서 자꾸 시장을 신경을 쓰죠. 시장 좀 빠진다면은 뭔가 도란프 푸시 나올 수도 있고.
Like I have a natural, I don't want to say it again, but I have a natural business instinct. I do. I've always done things. I've done some things that people say you're crazy, and I made a lot of money with. I've done a lot of things.
월가 그 대표적인 강세론자 누구죠? 톰리?
Somebody said he's got the best political instincts.
톰리가 이번 연도 상고 하저 얘기하던데. 상고 하저. 상반기 괜찮고. 하반기 이제 중간선거 들어갈 11월 요때부터 이제 좀 크게 조정이 오지 않을까. 톰리가 얘기했던 걸로 오전에 저 잠깐 뜨문뜨문 그 기사를 봐가지고 캣랩이요. 캣랩.
Sir, I've run for office 20 times and I've won 17. And I know what I'm talking about. This was at the very beginning of my first time. I said, well, I only won once. And I won, but I won for president. He said, you got me in that one. He's actually sitting in this room right now.
지금 시장 분위기는 굉장히 뭐 좋을 수 있어요. 그렇죠? 상방. 주말에 비농만 받쳐주면. 근데 찜찜하게 일봉 차트에. 주봉, 일봉. 이게 찜찜해.
Pulitzer Prize, right there. Pulitzer Prize. He got one for the bullet. He had the bullet, but he got how many Pulitzer Prizes? 3 Pulitzer Prizes and all talented guys. These are great guys. I don't like the people back there.
25,150부근 여기서 반등하면 쭉쭉 아래 꼬리 말아 올리면서 딱 좋은데.
But one thing I did see and find out in the last 2 months, when you tell the people
이렇게 음봉, 장대 음봉 아래 꼬리 잡아먹고 121선 위에서 아래 꼬리 만들면서 들어올리면 꽤 가죠.
It's like, and I just said it, and I said it because I read a story on the front page of a certain paper that I don't even mention because it's so stupid paper.
여기 언제입니까? 12월 17일. 저점 887.75. 냅두고 그냥 요거 반등한 거예요. 공중부양. 둘, 셋, 넷. 5거래 연속 가긴 갔는데 도로 빠지잖아. 힘이 없어요. 이것도 또 공중부양 가다가 또 희말이 없을 것 같고 159원에서 그냥 쭉 반등하려 딱 좋은데.
If you guys can get in a room, because you know we don't have that as one of our issues. It's the only thing they have. They're lousy at it. They came up with Obamacare. We tried to fight it. We almost had it won, but we didn't get 3 votes. We should have gotten it. But here's, you want to turn this thing, you work on favored nations, you work on borders, you work on all of the things that we talked about, but now you take the healthcare issue away from them, and they want to fight it. You know why? They're all owned by the insurance companies, and they cannot fight it successfully. There's nothing they can do. That's like almost the voter ID thing. When they try and fight, I watched a guy trying to explain why we shouldn't have voter ID the other day, and the guy was a fool. He looked like an idiot. This is the same kind of an issue. Let the money go in healthcare account or however you do it. Let the money go directly to the people. Now, you have to be a little flexible on Hyde. You got to be a little flexible. You got to work something. You got to use engineering.
Let the money go directly to the
We're all
people.
big fans of
국민들한테 돈
everything, but
직접
you gotta be flexible. You have
가게끔
to have flexibility.
만들어라.
I came out with a statement. Let the money go not to the big fat cats and the insurance companies that made 1,700% over the last short period of time. Let the money go directly
돈을
to the
뚱뚱한
people where they
보험
can buy their own
회사들한테
healthcare.
가지 않게끔 만들어라.
And I don't think, I'm not sure that I've ever said anything that was more impactful. You know, I say a lot of things and have a lot of good ideas. And this was an idea that, I mean, the whole world went crazy. The whole country went crazy. The world went crazy with envy. If you can somehow do that, Mr. Speaker, all of you see, if you can do that, you're going to have, this is going to be your issue. And the other thing is fertilization. They're trying to hit us in fertilization. They were dead on fertilization when I got a call from a very wonderful young senator from Alabama saying they had just lost the case. And the case, I've never been met with such scorn. Friends of hers were just going crazy. And I said, explain the issue to me. And it was on IVF, the fertilization. A judge ruled against and said all fertilization places have to be closed down like immediately. It would have been a disaster. And fortunately I picked it up and we own the issue. But now I understand they're trying to make a case on fertilization. You can't let them do that. Very important issue. All of these issues are very important issues. But you can own healthcare. Figure it out. Let the money go directly to the people. It goes in a healthcare account. There are numerous things you can do, but you have to let no money for the insurance companies. You know, I'm going to meet with the insurance companies. I said, I'm going to meet with them because I met with the prescription drug companies, and that's when I found out what was going on with the fact that we were paying 10 and 13 and 14 times more money than Europe and other places. I learned that at the meeting. Now I'm going to meet with them in a few days. I'm meeting with them all, 14 companies. I'm meeting with them all. I'm also meeting with oil companies. Let's go. You know what that's about. We've got a lot of oil to drill, which is going to bring down oil prices even further. But if you can come up with health care, remember this, where the money goes to the people, you have just owned, they can't fight it. They're owned by the insurance companies. You guys don't get money from the insurance companies, they do. They get a massive amount of money. It's their biggest donor. They're going to try and fight you, but they can't win the fight. If you explain it, the money goes directly to the people. That's going to be your issue. The other thing is energy. Your energy prices have come so far down since that president. And nobody wants to, I saw on television, energy prices are down 3%. No, they're not down 3%. They were $3.50 and $4. It's now $1.99 a gallon in many stations, and it's going down further. And that's like a massive tax cut. And that's the other thing, tax cuts. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. Now think of this, no tax on tips, no tax for seniors on Social Security, no tax on overtime. you're allowed to deduct if you buy a car and you take out a loan on the car.
소셜 세큐리티 연금에도 텍스를 붙였습니다.
Middle income people, all people can deduct, but they never got a deduction before like this.
팁에 텍스를 안 붙입니다.
Rich people, they got it.
야, 미국은 진짜 팁플레이션. 팁 어마어마해 진짜.
The interest against your taxes, nobody thought it was possible. It's going to be phenomenal for the car companies, but it's even more phenomenal for the people. It's like getting a
심지어 그 배달 음식에 그 저 팁
half
적게 준다고 그냥 배달 음식에다가 이상한 짓 하고
You have so
그런 거 어마어마하더라고요. 진짜 영상 보니까.
to do is sell it.
자, 그런 면에서는 대한민국이
They
최고예요.
know about the taxes. The great big,
미쳤어요.
I wrote the great big beautiful
그렇죠.
bill. I think it's even better. But the great big beautiful bill is just that. There are so many goodies in there to get the word out. Because the people in the back of the room won't do it. That's why I love live television. Because they can, well, sometimes they'll turn the camera off, but they're embarrassed when they do that. You know, if we're going too strong and doing too well, if the lights go off, you know you're doing well. If the lights are on, you got yourself a problem, okay? I see that little red light. That light goes on. If that light, that's bad, isn't it? If that light goes off, you know that you're doing a good job because
팁 안 주면 어떻게 돼요? 전쟁이 안 커져요.
and it's amazing that they can be so stupid. And
잘
they don't have
모르겠는데.
credibility anymore, and you can be.
저 예전에 진짜 정말 오래전에 살았을 때 그때는
You have no choice because it's so
그냥 그랬어요. 팀 문화가
But you can beat them. That's why I'm standing here. I mean,
한 10% 정도. 지금이 완전 심해진 거지. 지금이 미쳤지.
And then they changed him.
아마 옛날에는 안 그랬다. 지금 미쳤다.
Very unfair. They changed in the middle of the election. They said he's going to lose, so let's give somebody else. And fortunately, she was just as bad as him. Probably slightly. I don't know. Would you say as bad or worse? Close. Pretty close. But it took 6 weeks. It was a honeymoon period. 6 weeks. It took 6 weeks to find out that she didn't have what it takes. But you got to win the midterms. Because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, I mean, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached. We don't impeach them, you know why? Because they're meaner than we are. We should have impeached Joe Biden for 100 different things. They are mean and smart. But fortunately for you, they have horrible policy. They can be smart as can be. But when they want open borders, when they want, as I said, men and women's sports, when they want transgender for everyone, bring your kids in, we're going to change the sex of your child. Just send them our way. In some cases, like in Minnesota, they don't even tell the parents, is that right? And nobody believes it when I say it. I think we have 6 states. Nobody, am I correct? Okay, Tom Emmer said yes, so. But it's true. When the kid comes back, they keep the kid.
지금 얘기하는데 아동 그 성적 학대 그죠? 차일드 어비스 이저 앱스타인 파일 어떻게 되고 있나 진짜 그 의식한 발언인 것 같기도 하고.
What they do is they stick together. They never have a no vote. They impeached me. I never knew I was going to be impeached. I get a phone call. You just got impeached. I said, what does that mean? It took them 10 minutes. They impeached the president, who did a damn good job. I rebuilt our military, Space Force, I got everything. I did a lot. They impeached me for nothing, twice, for nothing. Fortunately, you were on our side, and we were unanimous. And the second time, the few people in this little group, like Rice and this, they're all gone. Every one of them is gone, except one.
자기 불리한 내용은 다 삭제.
Some guy that has a state that you
앱스타인 파일.
But think of it, everyone's gone. Everyone's gone. Makes me
참
feel
그게
so
이제
good.
가능. 야 참.
But I'm so happy that everyone. And they're seriously.
미국이 그 정도면.
This guy named Rice, he lost by 48
할 말 다
points.
했죠.
Right? Remember him? Oh no, there he is. What a job you did, Mr. Fry. Congressman Fry. I looked around for somebody. It's true, this was a good choice. We made some bad choices because you have to do it. I said, who the hell can run against this guy Rice? It was a Trump plus 40 district. they had riots around his house that night. You know, he voted, I vote to impeach. And that night they had riots. So they said, who the hell? Just give me somebody. A warm body. And then, no, it has to be a living, breathing person. And then if I could get a genius, it would be good. And we got a guy who is so good. He's been, I think, are you happy with him? I think so. Stand up, bro. He's great. I said, where does he come from? He's like a senator, state senator or something. I said, all right. I spoke to him one time. I said, you're accepted. But little did I realize how good he was. You did a great job. You've done a great job, and the people love him. So he has done a great job. I just want to say this. I haven't read one word on this thing. Who the hell else could do this? And I think I gave you something. It's just a roadmap. And it's a roadmap to victory. You have so many good nuggets. You have to use them. If you can sell them, we're going to win. Because we've won 2 races in like 50 years. It's, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but just don't find it. It doesn't make sense. They were unusual circumstances. So whether it's a Republican or Democrat, whoever wins the presidency, the other party wins the midterm, and it doesn't make sense because we've had the most successful year probably in this, they say, and now you add what happened essentially yesterday, we've had the most successful first year of any president in history. And it should be a positive. And make it a positive. So with that, I leave you. I do. And I started by saying I love you all, and I'll end by saying I love you. You're amazing people. What you do for this country is incredible. And thank you all very much. Thank you.
끝났네. 결국 뭐 시장 관련 얘기 없으세요, 그렇죠? 트럼프. No, 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 no. 와리가네 여기서 업다님 어서와요. 누가 우승했어? 어? 누가 우승했어요? (3번) 업다님 그래 3번 우승했어. 축하. 시청자들 쌓아놨어. 축하의 의미로 한 곡 듣죠. 뭐 있어? 제목 알려줘요. 제목. (670에서) 670에서 반등하는 건 딱 좋은데 지금 어디까지 가려나. 670 마지막으로 간가 보자.
매수 주문이 접수되었습니다.
80 670 반등 실패하면 조금 밑에서 (66) 1.25 19% 20% 오늘은 뭐 그다지 듣고 싶지 않아요. 많이 들었어. Sing Again 3번 찾아볼까? Slowly 싱어게인 우승한 가수 노래 들어야지. 어? 싱어게인 최종 파이널 (1번) 슬로울리가 우승했네. 가수 이름이 가수가 슬로울리야? 어? 오늘 잘한 노래 슬로울리. 알았어.
매수 주문이 체결되었습니다.
야 이거 아니다. 이거 반등하는 대로 쫓아가서 먹어야 돼. 아니면 그냥 나와야 돼. 이거 아니다.
매도 주문이 체결되었습니다.
아니라고 봐요. 고3 슬로울리 사랑인걸. 사랑인가봐. 제목이 뭐예요? 슬로울리. 슬로울리 사랑인걸까? 없어. 이건가? 여고생이에요? 이건가 보다. 야, 역시 잘 나왔어. 쭉쭉 미네. 이건가 보다, 이거. 들어봐야지. 어? 슬로울리? 못한 말이 참 많아서 혼잣말이 슬프게 되고 이 고등학생 맞아? 가슴이 자꾸 조여와요 모든 맘이 더 고3이 노래를 이렇게 한다고? 야, 쭉쭉 미는 거 봐. 트럼프 공화당이 중간 선거에서 승리하지 못하면 본인이 안에 탄핵될 거라고. 이제 무슨 재미로? 현역가 또 있어. 아, 이런 프로그램 많네.
닿지 않은 마음이란 건 차라리 없는 게 나을지 몰라서 애써 무시하고.
야, 고3이 노래 이렇게 한다. 와, 소름 돋는 세상이야 이제. 참.
이건 사랑인 걸까? 내 것이 될 수 없는 그대가 행복하길 바람을 믿어 밤이 내가 아파할수록 그대 아름답구나. 이건 대체 무엇일까? 그대의 친절이 날 고장나게 했고 마음과 작은 말을 하게 돼. 그럼에도 난 꿈을 꿔. 그댄 날 보였습니다. 이게 사랑이라면 나는 참 나쁘군요. 결국 나의 진심은 그댈 망칠 테니까 그댄 절대 모르게 그댄 더 행복하게. 난 바라만 볼게요.
필리핀 가수가 승사. 아, 인종차별이라고. 아, 우리 필리핀 가수 노래 들었죠? 아, 노래 잘하긴 잘했는데 좀 평범했어. 그쵸? 그 정도 실력자, 요즘 실력자 너무 많아서. 스쿠버. 잘 들었어. 오, 또 없어요. 응? 잘 들었어. 인종차별이라고 싸움이 붙었다. 아, 참, 참 신기한 세상이 이제. 심사원들은 밀어줬어. 하여튼 재미나. 싸우는 거 구경. 맞아, 싸움 구경, 불구경 재밌어. 맞아. 그래, 싸워라. 더 싸워, 더 싸워. 재밌어. 맞아. 맞아요. 내일 출근해야 하는데 빨리 발표 안 한다고 난리. 자기가 응원하는 사람 우승 못했다고 또 난리. 인종차별이라고 또 난리. 아, 재밌네. 빠바빠바. 야, 도통 알 수 없는 움직임이다 지금. 그쵸. 트럼프 하원 권한 워크숍 연설. 중간선거에서 역사적 승리와 기록 경신하겠다. 베네수엘라 대규모 고난도 군사작전이 매우 성공적으로 수행됐다. 전력 차단으로 국가 전반이 마비되며 기습효과가 컸다. 무기 생산 속도를 대폭 높이겠다. 조만간 14개 건강보험회사 회동할 예정이다. 갑자기 급장대 음봉 뭐 이런 움직임 보통 알 수 없어요. 움직임 조심해야 되겠네. 음봉 옆에 끼고 또 3분봉 또 반대. 차트 999틱은 딱 괜찮은데 241씩 이런 움직임이 계속해서 언제까지 될지 모르겠지만 차트 보고 있는 자체도 굉장히 피곤하네. 그렇죠? 오씨. 그렇구나. 내일 일정이 요거 말고 또 있습니까? 10시 15분 ADP 짜피노 12시에 중요한 서비스업 ISM 서비스업 비제조 졸스 늘 무게감 있는 지표 하나 둘 세 개 이렇게 있네. 특히 12시 지표가 차트에 영향을 좀 많이 줄 거예요. 그쵸? 미셸 범은 연준 이사는 뭐 늦게 연설하는데 연준 부의장 모레 넘어가는 새벽 6시 10분이에요. 코코님 감사. 네, 저거 말고 없네요. 트럼프 내일 일정은 어떻게 돼요? 물어봐 이제 노골적으로. 네? 트럼프 오늘 블라블라 떠들었으니까 내일은 좀 쉬엄쉬엄 갑니까? 떠들 얘기 없어. 12월 따라라라. 내일 12시 지표가 좀 무게가 ADP 짜피농보다 ADP 짜피농도 이제 뭡니까 그 저거 이후에 연방정부 셧다운 이후에 시장이 좀 많이 기대. 근데 뭐 이제 찐비록이 나오기 시작하니까 과연 시장 반응이 어떨런지 어쨌든 결과하고 시장 반응을 결과 살펴야죠. 주시해야죠. 자, 여기까지 하고 인사 드려야 될 것 같습니다. 엔비디아 CEO, JP모건 컨퍼런스 Q&A, 엔비디아 CFO, 차세대 AI 플랫폼 베러 루빈이 올해 하반기 출시에 맞춰서 순조롭게 생산 중이다. 이전 모델 블랙웰 대비 추론 성능 5배, 학습 성능 3배, 토큰 비용 10배 절감, 압도적인 성능 갖췄다. 지난 10월 언급했던 5천억 달러 규모 2026년까지 수주 잔고 더 늘어났다. 피지컬 AI 시장의 성장. 중국의 H200은 고객들이 라이선스를 신청했고 미국 정부가 승인 절차를 진행 중이지만 승인 시점 여부는 아직도 알 수 없다. 자, 좋습니다. 예, 오늘 여기까지 하고 인사드릴게요. 예, 오늘 2026년 첫 화요일. 자, 화요일 야간장 모두 고생 많으셨어요. 남은 시간 모두 청소하시고 밤 되시고 내일 저녁 9시 다시 뵐게요. 내일 저녁 9시에 다시 뵙겠습니다. 방송은 30분쯤, 아, 지연님. 방송은 30분쯤 뒤에 공유할게요. 자, 내일 다시 뵙겠습니다. 내일 다시 봬요. See you. 뿅뿅뿅. 샹큐 감사. 아, 내일부터 이제 중요한 지표들 좀 있고, 그쵸. 오늘은 좀 비교적 좀 한산해서 좀 지루했어, 그쵸? 자, 내일 뵐게요. 감사합니다. 요게 아직 안 됐구나. 됐네요. 자, 내일 뵙겠습니다. See you. 감사.
Home in small places where laughter softly stays, in morning talks and rainy walks and hearts that never stray. Home in small places, not grand but full of grace. I found my peace, I found my song in love's familiar face. I've chased the world, I've lost my way. I've seen the lights all fade to gray, but one warm meal, one steady hand can teach the soul to understand. The older I get, the less I need. A little kindness, that's all indeed. A quiet smile, a simple tune can fill the empty room. And when the stars begin to glow, I see the truth I used to know. It's not the crown or grand embraces, it's finding home in small places. Home in small places where laughter softly stays, in morning talks, in rainy walks, in hearts that never stray. Home in small places, not grand but full of grace. I found my peace, I found my song in love. Ooh, the quiet wins, the loud can fade. The strongest hearts are softly made. And though the years can turn and bend, it's small things that don't end. A window's glow, a gentle hand, the peace that few can understand. The sweetest joy that time replaces is coming home to small places. Home in small places, the light on your embrace. In steady rain, in joy or pain, it all still feels the same. Home in small places, my heart forever stays. I found my peace, I found my grace in small and loving spaces. The day winds down, the air turns cold, but warmth remains from tales retold. No need for more, no grander chases. I'm home in small places. me how the rain feels now. I smiled and said, it's warmer somehow. We talked until the morning light about nothing that ever felt so right. You brushed your hand across my sleeve, a tiny touch I can't believe. The world grew quiet, soft and new, like it was waiting just for you. Every word feels half unsaid, every glance stays in my head. It's not thunder, it's not fire, just a slow and growing desire. Maybe it's love, I can't be sure. It's something calm I can't ignore. It's not a rush, it's not the flame, it's peace that softly speaks my name. Maybe it's love, this gentle tune that hums between the sun and moon. I don't need proof, I just feel enough. Maybe it's love. The cafe hums, your eyes still glow. The rain keeps tapping soft and low. You tell a joke I barely hear. My heart's too loud when you are near. Your voice, it drifts like cinnamon air. It finds me calm, it keeps me there. And though I don't know what this means, it colors all my in-betweens. Every laugh stays on replay, every sigh rewrites my day. It's not lightning, it's not sky, just the truth I can't deny. Maybe it's love, I can't be sure. It's something calm I can't ignore. It's not a rush, it's not the flame, it's peace that softly speaks my name. Maybe it's love, this gentle tune that hums between the sun and moon. I don't need proof, I just feel enough. Maybe it's love. Ooh, the way you stir your cup and smile makes silence last a little while. You ask if I believe in fate, I nod but words just hesitate. If this is love, then let it stay. A jazz refrain that never fades away. No grand reveal, no higher ground, just warmth in every sound. You say my name, I can't reply. I'm lost beneath your amber sky. The coffee cools, the daylight fades, but something beautiful remains. Maybe it's love, I can't be sure. It feels like home I've longed for. It's not a fire, it's not a fight, it's finding calm in morning light. Maybe it's love, this melody that lives where gentle hearts should be. No need for words, it's clear enough. Maybe it's love. The street grows still, the daylight bends, but I don't want this morning to end. You smile again, my heart gives up. Maybe it's love.
The morning breaks with gentle light, a world reborn from quiet night. The air is cool, the streets still sleep, and I find dreams I meant to keep. A sparrow hums a simple tune, the sun climbs soft a silver moon. The city yawns, begins to glow, and I remember how love grows. I used to chase a grand design, a bigger dream, a brighter sign, but every plan just passed me by, while small things kept my heart alive. Your laughter through the telephone, a warm hello when I felt alone. The way you said take time to breathe became the faith I now believe. The world won't stop for broken plans, life still fits within our hands. The smallest smile, the softest word can wake the soul that's gone unheard. Everyday miracle, you're the reason I still try. The color in my ordinary sky. I don't need thunder, I don't need fame, just the sound of love when you call my name. Everyday miracle, you make it all feel right. A whisper of peace in the morning light. The market hums, the children play. The scent of bread drifts down the way. An old man hums a tune he knows. The rhythm steady as it goes. The world is made of borrowed time, of fleeting stars that softly shine. But in this moment here and true, the miracle I see is you. When evening paints the sky with gold and shadows stretch and hearts grow bold, I'll still recall this quiet grace, the sunlight resting on your face. The road is long, but I don't mind. I've left the dark and doubt behind, because I've learned what love can do. It turns the grayest sky to blue. Maybe we're small in endless space, but kindness leaves a brighter trace. The stars may fade, the days may flee, but hope begins with you and me. A touch, a laugh, a gentle start, that's how we mend the human heart. You taught me how to see the sign that miracles are never mine. So here's to mornings, soft and slow, to every seed we choose to sow, to faith that hides in simple parts, and all the love that lights our hearts. Everyday miracle, I see it clear and true. The world is brighter because of you.
You walked in like an open door. I didn't know what I was waiting for. A quiet smile, the world turned bright. You pulled the dark into the light. Now every street feels half as loud. I hear my heart inside the crowd. You make the noise all fade away. You color gold in every gray. I used to run with restless feet. Oh, now every step feels calm and sweet. You shine in my day like rhythm and laughter, showing the way. You lift the weight, you clear the sky. You make me dream, you make me try. Stay close, don't fade. This melody's where hope is made. Love feels simple when you say you shine in my day. I used to count the things I missed, the plans, the time, the love unkissed. But when your hand reached out to mine, the clock rewound, the stars aligned. We talk of life in smaller tones, of things that make a house a home. And every laugh and every tear becomes a song I wanna hear. No symphony could sound as true as one small yes I found in you. You shine in my day shine in my day. You shine in my day. So when the night begins to fall, I'll hear your voice above it all. Love's not grand, it's here to stay. You shine in my day.
Dear me, I hope you're doing fine. You've carried storms through borrowed time. You try too hard to please the crowd, but quiet hearts don't need to be loud. The window glows with golden light. The window glows with golden light. Another chance to make it right. Pour some coffee, breathe it in. Today's a page, let's start again. Don't rush to fix what's not yet broken. Some words are best left softly spoken. You're learning still, and that's okay. The sunlight loves you anyway. This is the letter I'll send myself, folded and worn from the morning shelf. No stamps, no lines, just words that heal, reminding me what's real when the world grows cold and cruel and dreams feel far away. I'll open up this letter and read what I meant to say. Dear me, forgive the nights you cried. You never failed for having tried. Those heavy hearts, those restless years, they shape the rhythm of your tears. You learned to dance when music stopped, to love the blooms that others dropped. You built a life from little things, like quiet jazz and gentle strings. Don't count the scars as signs of loss. They're proof you paid the bridge's cost. The rivers calm, the lesson deep, pieces earned in broken sleep. This is the letter I'll send myself, written in calm and candle smell. No need for ink to prove it's true. The love I needed came from you. When shadows stretch and colors fade and I forget what light can do, I'll open up this letter and find my way back through. Ooh, I'm not chasing anymore, I'm not fighting every war. The mirror shows a friend tonight, not someone I need to put right. And if the noise comes crashing in, I'll hum this melody again. Just me, a cup and early blue. Dear me, I still believe in you. Take a breath, it says you're enough. I trace the words, the paper rough. Outside the street begins to hum, but my heart stays calm and numb. This is the letter I'll send myself, folded in peace from the morning shelf. Each line a promise, soft and true, to live with grace in all I do. If tomorrow shakes my fragile soul and I forget how far I've come, I'll open up this letter, remember where I'm from. Signed with sunlight, sealed in rain. Love and loss, they feel the same, but every dawn will softly turn
talk about the weather's mood, the plans we miss, the morning food. Your laughter falls between the lines like sunshine caught in shifting blinds. No promises, no polished play, just comfort found in what we say. And in your tone I hear it clear, love's the sound that keeps me near. You never try to make it loud. It's soft, it's real, it's not the crowd. There's a smile between the words where the quiet heart is heard. Every pause a sweet refrain, every glance a soft champagne. We don't need to spell it out, the meaning's there without a doubt. Love just hums without concern in the smile between the words. The coffee cools, the window sways, the world keeps spinning anyway. You tilt your head, I catch the cue, and every look says I see you. We drift in calm, we breathe in peace. The rush outside begins to cease. It's not the grand, it's not rehearsed, it's found in hearts that put love first. No symphony could sound this sweet, as simple joy when our eyes meet. There's a smile between the words where the quiet truth occurs. No stage, no script, no grand applause, just love that blooms without a cause. We don't chase the perfect line, we speak in peace, your heart on mine. Love just hums without concern in the smile between the words. Maybe life is built on small moments we can still recall. Every laugh and every tear just says I'm home when you are near. The world outside can change its tune, but I'll be safe right here with you. So let the morning find us slow with gentle things we'll never show. I don't need grand, I've already heard. All I need's that smile between the words. Smile between the words.
The coffee's cold, the light is gray. You must have left before the day. Your coat is gone, the room's half bare, but peace still lingers in the air. The curtain sways, the kettle hums, the morning feels like what we've become. No sudden storm, no crash, no sound, just quiet hearts that lost their ground. I thought we'd end in shouts and rain, but endings whisper soft, not pain. You didn't cry, I didn't plead, just silence growing like a seed. Letters on the counter folded twice, a single word can break the ice. You wrote be well and take your time, in coffee stains and crooked lines. Letters on the counter, calm and plain, no hate, no tears, just quiet rain. If love must fade, then let it be, this gentle kind of honesty. I read it once, then once again. Each line feels softer than it's been. You said we lost the words to try, and somehow I don't wonder why. The toast still waits, the butter melts, the room remembers how it felt. Two mugs, one clean, one left behind, a perfect end, a fragile kind. You always said it's small things break, like empty chairs or hands that shake. I never knew till this quiet scene that peace could feel so bittersweet. No storm, no fight, no final plea, just morning soft simplicity. We left our love where sunlight bends, with no regret, just two old friends. Letters on the counter folded twice, a single word can break the ice. You wrote be well and take your time, in coffee stains and crooked lines, letters on the counter, calm and plain. No hate, no tears, just quiet rain. If love must fade, then let it be. This gentle kind of honesty. Ooh, the record spins, the room exhales, the scent of us in every detail. The kind of love that never screams, it ends like softly waking dreams. I wish you joy, I wish you peace. May quiet mornings never cease. I'll fold your note and keep it near, for all the things I couldn't hear. Goodbye, it said in faded ink. I smile and pour another drink. The sunlight falls, the paper gleams. We said enough between the seams. Letters on the counter, folded twice. A silent truth in thin disguise. You wrote, be well and take your time. In shaky strokes and tender lines. Letters on the counter, calm and plain. No hate, no tears, just quiet rain. And though you're gone, I still can see that love was kind to me. Maybe this is how love should end. Not in fire, but in peace. The night feels soft, the lights are low. The city hums in gentle glow. Your shadow falls along with mine. Our footsteps keep in perfect time. The world's still busy, but not for me. I only hear your voice, so free. You talk about the silly things, like stars that hum instead of sing. And though the road is small and plain, it feels like home again. No words we need to say tonight. Your hand in mine feels right. Walk me home slowly, let the minutes last. No need to hurry, let the world go past. Every breath beside you feels like something true. Walk me home slowly, I'll stay close to you. The breeze carries our laughter thin. The moonlight paints your quiet grin. You say it's late, I say not yet. The night's a song we won't forget. I count the lights, the steps we take. Each one a wish will never break. And even if tomorrow calls, tonight's the best of all. The streetlights glow like silver rain. They blur, but I remain. No rush, no end, no need to part. You're already home inside my heart. Walk me home slowly, let the minutes last. No need to hurry, let the world go past. Every breath beside you feels like something true. Walk me home slowly, I'll stay close to you. Ooh, time can fade, the night can fall, but this small piece outshines it all. The stars can dim, the streets can sleep, but love like this runs slow and deep. I don't need grand, I don't need more, just quiet roads
like something new. Walk me home slowly, and I'll fall for you. The lights grow faint, the street turns small, but peace surrounds it all. You whisper low, I answer too. I'm home when I'm with you.
The years go fast, the stories fade, the plans we built, the moves we made. But what remains when time unwinds is all the kindness left behind. A word, a smile, a helping hand, the things that hearts still understand. We can't take much when days are through, but love remembers what we do. The world won't care for what we own, but it will echo what we've shown. A gentle heart, a listening ear, can outlast every year. The kindness we leave behind, that's the light that never dies. Through every storm, through every mind, it lingers in the skies. The kindness we leave behind is the truth that stands in time. When all is gone, what stays alive is the kindness we leave behind. I've seen the race for more and more, but peace is found in keeping score. A moment small of hearts we touch, that's what this life should mean to us. A stranger's smile, a soft hello, a gesture only we may know. It cost us little but can heal, the kind of love that's real. Someday we'll fade like ocean foam, but kindness builds another home. A ripple through another soul, that's how the story's told. The kindness we leave behind, that's the light that never dies. Through every storm, through every mind, it lingers in the skies. The kindness we leave behind, it's the truth that stands in time. When all is gone, what stays alive is the kindness we leave behind. Ooh, we may not change the world we see, but hearts remember. Empathy, a touch, a word, a passing grace can heal a time and place. The simplest act, the smallest care can teach the lost that love is there. And when we're gone, it softly hums. Our kindness carries on. The kindness we leave behind, like stars in endless night. Through every tear, through every kind, it glows in borrowed light. The kindness we leave behind, it's the song of humankind. And when I fade, I'll rest my mind in the kindness left behind. So when I go, I hope they'll say you left some warmth along the way. No gold, no crown, just peace refined in the kindness left behind. In the kindness left behind.
The sunlight resting on the floor, the same soft glow I've seen before. Your shadow hums along the wall while coffee steams and curtains fall. The city sighs beyond our glass, but here the moments never pass. Your hand still warm from dreams below, in this room where the light stays slow. No need to chase the hours gone, they'll come again, they'll carry on. The quiet hums a gentle tune that sounds like love in bloom. Where the light stays slow, that's where I want to go. No hurry, no tomorrow plan, just the calm of your open hand. Where the light stays slow, the world laugh sweet. The jazz from vinyl skips a beat. I laugh, you look, and time just bends.